there are reports everywhere of the loyal forces to Gaddafi winning. I mean, in each and every area of conflict, there are a multitude of reports of the rats losing big time. Absolutely everywhere. Saba, Sirte, and Bani Walid, and other towns as well. I'll put the Twitter addresses on the video. Of course, we've got the CNN, BBC stuff as well, telling us the rats are winning, and there's just a few remnants of the loyalist forces remaining. I certainly don't believe the mainstream media, and I do believe the rats are being beaten, and there's fighting really everywhere, and there's nowhere that they feel secure, and that the vast majority of the population is totally for Gaddafi. But still, there's a sadness and a moroseness. You've got planes at 35,000 feet continually bombing and killing people, totally content to kill innocents. And this is what's going on across the Muslim world. Somehow Libya is more touching, perhaps because it's closer to Europe. There could even be like a closer racial connection between Arabs than there are, say, with Afghanis or Pakistanis. But killing Muslims is the order of the day, and we're given the spin that it's for the resources. It's the bankers that are doing it. Well, you know, we're not being told the truth here at all. I mean, if you send the police to go arrest somebody, they go and arrest them. If you send NATO to go and kill people, NATO goes and kills people. And the bankers' role is to make profit. They can easily make profit in peaceful situation. They know it. But they'll also profit from war and killing. This is an ideological war against Islam. And prime concerns are homosexuality and alcohol. There are many others. At the heart of Islam, it is kind of forbidden for free mixing between males and females. And, of course, Western democracy society is the complete opposite. Flirtation is the order of the day. Exhibiting one's sexuality is encouraged everywhere. So it's ideological in the conflict. And, you know, they're poor innocent gay people just doing their thing. But we've got them in power, in government, implementing these murderous genocidal policies. So I think we've got to call it to book and realize what we're fighting for and against. Anyway, alcohol equally is promoted everywhere, and you're pretty much in trouble if you show disdain for it. So you could argue that you'll never change Islam, but there isn't one Islamic country now that doesn't charge interest rates. So you can, in fact, change things. And our secretive elite waging these wars know that. So we all hear, you know, the coin expression of debt slavery. But that's already been achieved, really. All the Muslim countries charge interest rates. There hasn't been Sharia law in effect for a long, long time. So in the Gulf states now you have gay clubs, and in other Arab states they're under American pressure. They're not persecuted, they might not be out in the open, but this is a very big issue. Our Prime Minister Cameron is on record a multitude of times, along with his Deputy Prime Minister, of the need for gay rights for Africans, from asylum, from using foreign aid to ensure that they have freedom. Every really angle is part of a British official policy. Now Islam's just taking a big knock, if you ask me, because they've been using mujahideen, people shouting Allahu Akbar, as they fire these rockets into civilian areas. So our elite is very, very, very clever. They got Russia and China not to oppose them in this war against a country that caused no harm, no threat to anyone else. And they've stolen all the billions and billions of dollars. They cannot possibly rule the world or the countries the regimes, without ensuring that everyone is self-interested. And this has to be proven with bait and corruption. And that's what's needed from their point of view, is a corrupt elite and certainly a gay elite as well. And alcoholics are always welcome. This is the absolute truth of the matter. So we're waging a war of genocide. We're killing innocents over 10,000 miles. There'll be no end to it, and Saudi Arabia's turn will come, and Qatar's turn will come. You don't realize the hatred there is for Islam. You might recall, if you're old enough, the war against the Soviet Union, and that was a real war. I mean, you know, outside of armaments, it was full scale, morning till night, hate the Soviets. And so you can argue that, you know, NATO hasn't always been anti-Islamic. Well, I think that's absolutely correct. But for the last 10 years, it's only been anti-Islamic, and that isn't going to stop until Islam is totally crushed. It's a small religious elite running the whole show. Obama's just made it clear that openly gay people can serve in the American military, so we can see them operating the drones or doing whatever they do. And we got this false notion that we're living under countries, you know, like Britain is a country. It's just an entity in debt to private institutions, owes billions of pounds to private institutions. I don't believe the Queen has any power. I don't buy that the Jesuits are the people secretly in power, nor do I believe the Freemasons are. We're talking about a small occult religious elite turning us against each other, destroying our souls, and killing innocents. And the population at large is consumed with alcohol, football, mainstream media. Very sad times. The only direction we're going in is for a big war. We all know that. Meantime, the heroic Libyan forces are having victory after victory. And NATO comes in and bombs them and sends mercenaries in on the ground, and we think, oh, it's terrible, those mercenaries on the ground. Well, don't you think they employ mercenary pilots as well? If a pilot's seeking asylum from another country, or is an expat or an exile from another country, they get a job too, bombing from 35,000 feet. This is what we see happening in Gaza, as well as Libya and Afghanistan, and in Iraq, and the drones in Yemen, Somalia, and Pakistan. It's just full-scale head-on war against Islam, and we're told it's for the resources. The resources can be given to Russia, China, anyone, it doesn't matter. It's about the ideology of it all. It's really a war for homosexuality and for dumbing down the population. And we don't realize it. I guess some of these military men were noble. Sir General Richards, the head of the British military. I don't think he's got a clue what he's fighting for. And I don't know the first thing about him. But it's a very, very sad era to watch all these people being killed. And, you know, they're tortured mentally apart from physically. This is just a full-scale head-on assault on humanity and on humaneness. And there's no end in sight. People are busy discussing party politics as if it makes any difference whatsoever. It doesn't. I don't know how to end this. I would like to ask if you can make any donations to my YouTube channel. The donation's in the description. It's a PayPal. You click the button. It's a bit self-serving to ask for that, but certainly would help matters. Let's hope for a day of revolution and of taking down all the hoaxes. It's a litany of hoaxes. We're built up on lies. They also want Islam to accept Darwinism. I'm not going to go into that now, but they've got Islam to accept interest rates. On that premise, you can say they'll get Islam to accept all these other variants, which our ruling elite don't follow themselves, because they'd fall apart if they did.